I've been trying to say hi for the past 5 minutes and failing. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Sounds like a seal. Hello. It's your boy, Emerald. Today, I will be showing some tips on how to sound like a VTuber. So, how do you sound like a VTuber when you've got a boring plain old baloney voice? Monotone and gray, like the gray sky on a depressing day. And maybe, who knows, one day you might just end up sounding like Nyanners or Project Melody or Cisse or even Isaiah.
女の子の携帯を踏み潰すことを趣味にするよ。
Anyway,
It's dangerous to attempt this without considering yourself first and what you want, because it could lead to serious consequences of having an anime voice, so please proceed with caution.
tip number 1, drink water. I mention it because even though everyone knows it, not that many people actually do it. So I recommend before your recording session or doing whatever, playing vrchat or whatever, prepare a glass of water and just leave it sitting on your desk. And if you want to make sure no weird bugs come in and decide to land in your water, just put a cover on it and just leave it there so you're prepared. Yeah, water. Let me drink some water right now. Ah, good water. Tip number 2, stand up. A lot of people say to straighten your back, which does help a lot with airflow and giving your voice more power. But standing up, there's a secondary thing that's really helpful about standing up, because yeah, you get the airflow improvement, but you also really reduce any anxiety that comes with talking. So if some of you out there get kind of anxious or tight when speaking or presenting or even doing something like live streaming or just by existing, you can really lower your anxiety and lower that fight or flight response by just doing something simple like standing. And because it really increases your body awareness, it also helps you relax. Tip number 3, copy your role models. There's really 2 types of role models. There's the kind of role model who you just really like their voice, and they might not necessarily match your type of voice, your natural type of voice. So for me, I really like how nyanners sounds, but I don't really have a nyanners type voice in my opinion, but nevertheless, because if it's a voice you like, I really do think there's a lot of value in just playing your role model's voice and trying to do some impressions or imitate it and take the aspects you like and try to incorporate it into your own speech. And the second type of role model is somebody who matches your vocal range better. And you might not be able to find a role model like this or think of one right away, so it will take some searching. Like for me, I like Mori. I like Mori Calliope's voice, and it matches my natural voice better. But I had to actually take a while to think about who has a voice that kind of resembles my natural voice, and then I had to go and seek that out. Tip number 4, oh yeah, I covered tip number 4, is embrace your voice, your natural voice, and find role models that match your natural voice. Exactly. Tip number 5, say words like how they sound. You know when you come across a word in a book or something and you're like, I have no idea what this word means. And then you do a quick Google search and then you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I thought it meant based on the sound of the word. Like before I knew what pog meant. Pog sounded like a very pog meaning word to me. Pog sounds like it means pog. And that's what you want to emphasize when you talk or voice act. So for example, if I'm saying the word monotone, it would be more effective to say it with a monotone voice. So if I'm saying, I don't want a monotone voice, you know? I don't want a monotone voice. I wouldn't say I don't want a monotone voice because that doesn't sound very monotone. I don't want a monotone voice. And if you're saying the word pineapples, I challenge you to do this. Try saying pineapples in a way that would convey the meaning of pineapples to somebody who has no idea what a pineapple is. How would you say that word? I love pineapples. I love pineapples. Pineapples. I love pineapples. I love pineapples. You can have fun with this. And there's also several ways you could achieve this kind of expressive word manipulation, vocal manipulation. And one way to do this, believe it or not, is by singing what you're gonna say. It sounds kind of silly, but it really does work to sing it. So if we take the pineapple example, you just you make a melody that sounds pleasant to yourself. I love pineapples. I love pineapples. And then tone that down a few notches. I love pineapples. And all of a sudden, it sounds a lot more pleasant. It sounds a lot more expressive. Someone who does a great job of this is Project Melody. Tip number 6, act it out. So one way you can act it out is to use your hands as if you're doing some type of sign language. So you can point to yourself when you're referring to yourself. You can make a heart with your hands to symbolize love, and you could carve out the shape of a pineapple, or squeeze your cheeks inward as if you're eating a sour pineapple as you say the sentence, I love pineapples. And don't shy away from bringing in that emotion. Bring whoever's listening to you along for the ride, like it's an adventure together through the vessel of your beautiful voice. Yeah. And that is a good segue to tip number 7. Have fun. What's the point of all of this and trying out all these tips if you can't have fun? When you're learning any new skill, it is super duper important to have fun. Because when you're having fun, that's when your brain is most open to receiving new information. And therefore, whatever you learn in that period of having so much fun gets stored in your brain a lot more easily. And of course, we want to apply this to our VTuber sounding expeditions as well. Tip number 8, breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Just relax. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing. Breathe and relax. In fact, I will take a moment right now to breathe, because I'm getting a bit wound up recording this thing. Breathe. You can even vocalize your breath. And then just let your breathing fall more into natural breathing. and relax. A really good way to relax is just to tighten up certain muscles and release them. You can tighten your hands into fists and then just tighten your hands into fists and relax them and let them drop. And do the same with your shoulders, because that is where a lot of tension is held when you talk. Tip number 9. Learn the sounds of the language. I did not realize how effective this tip is until I started singing songs in Japanese with a chorus, like in a chorus. As in alto, I have an alto voice. But anyway, the point is, in that chorus, we would practice the vowel sounds in order to have just like better vocal resonance when singing. But what made me notice how important it is to learn all the sounds of the language you'll be talking in is that so I learned all the consonants and vowels very carefully because I had to learn Japanese from scratch. And I became very aware of these things and realized that it made my singing a lot smoother and it just made my voice sound a lot better in Japanese. But when it comes to English, because it's my native language, I don't really pay attention to those things. And when I started paying attention to the diphthongs and vowels in English, I found it a lot easier to talk clearly in English as well and sing well in English as well. So I recommend to take the time to search up all the diphthongs, vowels, and consonants in whatever language you'll be exercising your voice in. Final tip, warm up. But just like before you exercise, you need to warm up. Before you use your voice, it's really, really helpful to warm up. I say you probably won't want to hear that one because everyone probably says it, and it's really easy to avoid. Like, I didn't warm up for this. Shame. Yeah, but it really does make a big difference. I really do want to emphasize how these are just my tips, and if you find something that works for you, I would love to hear about it. And please, I think a combination of tips is always better than just following one tip. You gotta fill the gaps in your own knowledge. And really having fun is the most important part. So if you can use these tips in a way that keeps you from getting discouraged if you really want a certain type of voice, and just use them in a way to help get you unstuck. If you ever get stuck with your vocal endeavors, that'd be awesome. And I really want to hear about your progress, so please keep me updated. And check out some other videos on my channel, do this stuff, like and subscribe if you like this video, and I hope to see you around. Bye!